Aldrin, thanks for joining us. Can you set the scene for us? I mean, tomorrow's a big day and they're expecting hundreds of thousands of people. Tell us what's been happening today in preparation for tomorrow.
Well, final preparations are currently underway here at the stadium. This is where the ANC's election manifesto will be launched. But as Gwede Mantashe said during that press briefing earlier on today, that it has been an intensive, campaign encouraging people to come through here to the stadium, and it is indicated about 100,000 members and supporters of the ANC who are expected to pack this stadium as well as the overflow areas. While today, specifically, we had the members of the ANC's top six going about the campaign, encouraging people to come through. And specifically, the person that I've been following today was the Deputy President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, who was in one town which is called Soweto on Sea at about 7 o'clock in the morning. People quite excited to see the President. They were quite surprised actually to see him, and the Deputy President rather relating that he went to one resident's home. She then took him and showed him all the defects that her house, all the defects on her house, as well as all the other issues that her family has been facing. And as he indicated to her, that they have a counsellor that listens. His name is Xolani. And quite interesting is when the Deputy President said jokingly, "Phansi ngoXolani phansi," the resident said, "Phezulu ngoXolani phezulu."
All right, well, tell us a little bit more about, the residents, what their feeling is, because they've been made a lot of promises, I guess, in the past, and tomorrow is about more promises. How have they been responding to this visitation by the party's bigwigs, as it were?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Deputy President has been received quite well. For instance, we went to a town called Henki. It's the ANC's Sarki-Bartman region, also here in the Eastern Cape, and he was received quite well. But I was speaking to one of the residents there, and she said, as a committee member, the biggest concern for her is when they do these door-to-door campaigns, what do they tell the people? Considering that there was an election manifesto launched 5 years ago, certain promises were made and those weren't fulfilled. If you speak to some of the community members in that area, the issue around jobs, the issue around education as well, and she says that they don't know what to tell the people, considering that you have the election manifesto launch that will be happening here tomorrow here in Port Elizabeth, and then you have a couple of months before the elections takes place on the 3rd of August, and during that period there will be the door-to-door campaign. What do they tell the residents, and encouraging them to vote for the ANC? Some who feel that the ANC has failed them.
Well, given that, then I guess it's no surprise that we've been getting reports and seeing images of some protests in that part of the world.
Yeah, considering what happened in New Brighton earlier this morning, where the Minister of Social Development, Bathabile Dlamini, was due to launch a drug treatment center, the residents there went on a protest, and the major issue raised there as well was the issue around jobs. They said that the people working at that center are not people from New Brighton, and the New Brighton residents weren't employed to help build the drug treatment center. And I don't know if you've seen, there's a video that's currently doing the rounds, currently trending on Twitter and social media, where insults are being hurled against the minister, and she also breaks down and cry, and we can hear one of the officials there encouraging the residents to sit down and have a proper discussion with the minister.
All right, Aldrin, that's where we're going to have to leave it, but no doubt we'll be crossing to you many times over the next couple of days. That's Aldrin Sampier, our political reporter in Port Elizabeth.